Welcome to the realm of Millenia. Be ye a man, a woman, a child, a spirit, a creature, or a demon. Be ye a native migrator, or maybe even an invader into the realm. Welcome, for I am your host, the Millenian Mailman, here today. Be ye, I almost repeated, here today, bringing you guys and pals another episode of Funny Guy Friday. Try to be funny for you guys, right? But yeah, I one thing that's kind of funny is people always ask me why I always like say my age is 37, cause it's like my age is 37 because I like my PPI. I like my personal information being protected. I don't like how readily available with the advancement of technology and scammers and all that coming through. You can't even trust your cell phone no more. Over half the calls you get are somebody with a strange dialect, probably Chinese. Oh, hello, hello, right? I'm American. I don't know the dialects. I'm gonna be honest with you. For all I know, someone saying, "Excuse me, sir. Could you please give me your social security number?" is someone speaking French and what is it, Viking? They could be speaking Viking when they say, "I would like to ask you for what your social security number and birthday are in order to verify." Sir, don't cash the gift card. Just send the gift card after telling me your birthday and social security. They could be speaking Viking. They could be Greek for all I know. I don't know. I have no idea. Right? But people always like to ask, why do I always say 37? I don't even look 37. Well, I am determined that my forever internet age is 37. If I feel like you're recording me, I'm going to say 37. Because I don't want it to be like a thing. If the court has a recording audio video cam and whatnot, not even they can force me, even on a stand where I'm swearing to say the truth and nothing but the truth, they cannot force me to say anything other than 37 if I'm being recorded, because that's PPI, period. Right? So as long as the court session is being recorded, age is 37. So long as they're not recording, I'll say a different true age. But as long as it's being recorded, 37. But in my personal opinion, I genuinely look 37, right? Because I'm old. I've always felt I was born outside my time, right? And if you don't think I look older than 37, and you for some reason think I look younger, blame the drugs. Blame the military drugs that they put in the eggs and whatnot. Because I am ex-military. I'm a military veteran, so do your math however you so choose to feel, right? And other people, they've asked me, like, hey, why 37 be that number? Because my mom is 38. She's been 38 for the past 38 years, man. I asked her one time, I forgot it, asked her again, forgot it, realized that asking a woman her age is one of the biggest taboos in the universe. And realized the last number I remember is 38, so I'm going to call her 38 for the rest of my life. She'll be 38 when she turns 138 and dies. So she gets to meet her great grandbabies, right? I need her to die after I've no longer needed someone to do my taxes for me. Even after she's well into retirement and not working no more, I still need her to do my taxes. I'm giving her a sense of duty and responsibility, okay? Right? I'm giving her a purpose so she doesn't easily drift off into Alzheimer's and forget stuff. She loved numbers. So I give her this sense of purpose and responsibility. Every year, she's gonna know what day it is the moment I say, "It's tax time. Don't forget the W-2, Ma. Here's all the paperwork you normally ask for." Right? She better not die on me. That's mandatory. And that's how it will be forever on. Right? So my age online is 37, and no one can say otherwise. You can do your little hacking research and figure out how old I am and post it. I'm not giving you a confirmation or a denial, right? But I will tell you, I am 37. I've interacted with a lot of people. They tend to say when I show them like my driver's license and IDs, they're like, "Oh yeah, you don't look like it. You when you have hair, you kind of look even older. Or when you shave it all off, I can kind of see you how you might actually be that age." And I'm like, if I look younger to you, I blame the drugs, I blame the steroids, I blame the military. I blame the military. They don't always genuinely say what's in them needles. They say it's flu shot season, and then they give you 8 doses when you are expecting only 2 or 3, right? I can't tell you everything I've had. I'm pretty sure I haven't been on steroids, but if I have, and my chart is saying otherwise, I have no idea. That was not my area of special expertise at the time, right? But that's just how it is. I am an internet 37. I will be 37 for the next 37 and beyond. So long as my account is active, I am 37 if I'm on podcasts and interviews, period. It's just 37. I don't care if they slip up and they say my real age in place of 37. Like, I've seen his ID and it does not say 37. That's too dang bad. I'm 37 now. I'll be 37 and 37 as far as the internet goes. And that's just live, laugh, and let it go. You're getting no other confirmation. You can do your deep dive and searches and figure out this and that and beyond, but I'm telling you, you're not getting anything other than 37. My mom's a solid 38 years old and has been for the past 38 and will be 38 for the next 38 as well. Because that's just too bad. That is unfortunately too bad for you. So the reason I chose 37 is because my mother is 38 and has been and will be continually for the next so on. And I have to be younger. Being the same age as my mom is just makes for a weird Alabama situation. I guess, possibly. I don't know. Right? So I was generous enough to say that I was a year younger than my mother. Right? I will never call myself an age older than my mother, because that would be weird and under certain circumstances pretty impossible. But hey, man, yeah, that is how it lovely goes. Right? I'm a cool excuse you, I'm a cool 37. People say I don't look my age, and other people, it's a very few people who say I look younger than 37. And to all of you, I have a few standards of recognition that prove just how old I am. Like, I'm gonna ask you how to burn a CD, your music on a CD, and see if you could give me an answer. If you don't know that answer, we're entirely generations apart. Uh, there's a few common trends with millennials versus the Gen Zs and the Gen. I think the next one coming up is Alpha. I guess I'm pretty sure it's Alpha, Gen Z to Alpha, Z to A to Z, and Z to A. Right? I am not a boomer. I'm sorry to let you know. I'm not at all a boomer. Mother was a boomer though. she goes back a little ways. But no, I am a solid 37. Live, let laugh, and leave me alone about it. That is all you're getting from me. I'm a cool 37, and I'm unfortunately getting old. I knew as a little kid back in elementary school I was getting old. I always recognized myself as young, but going through, I've always been an old soul, born a bit too late, right? Because most of my life I've been a workaholic, like earning my way, building up my own reputation. But at the same time, if I was born too much older, I would be probably dead far younger because racisms, right? Jim Crows and slave fields and all of that. It's like I can't tell you what would possibly be the perfect time for me to have been born in, but I always feel at every stage of my life I was a little too late coming out, right? Maybe if I was born a little, like a wee earlier, it might have been perfect for me. But I could go back, and still probably not find the perfect groove, right? I don't know. Must be the way I was raised. Feel like my workaholism would have been appreciated just like a decade back, maybe. Maybe I would. No, it would have been appreciated a little more 2 decades back. Three. Four. I know what. We are all the way back 15 decades, and I feel like four score. This is a bit too far, cause they're trying to make me do labor out in this field, and I'm dying of cut grass. I can't be picking cotton and growing blisters and sores, having the massa shoot me down because he doesn't know what disease I got. It's like I'd have to be an indoor slave, and I'm a worker. I'm a workaholic out here. I'm not suited for indoor slave activities. I don't know what to do here. So I don't know. I don't know what would be the perfect generation for me to be working and living in. I think I'm a pretty good author. I think so. I hope so. I hope other people agree. But I'm an old soul. So I try to do my best about putting it into my literatures for an audience. Because maybe then you all can appreciate the things I'm thinking, the younger generation, when they finally get to reading. Maybe I'm just philosopher status, right? Because that is something I have considered and thought about, and people have talked about it with me as well. Like, what did philosophers do to earn their money? Or were they all just sons and daughters of nobles that allowed them to live like hippies, all calm and peacefully? It's like just look out the window and said some philosopher shit. I was like, no, man, that dude's cooking. No, let him speak. It's straight banger after banger every time. He shouts out his window. That's why he pays no rent. That's why he lives free. That's why he eats at my spot. Because he just says that nugget of wisdom every time he speaks. Right? It's like, what is going on here? Right? It's like maybe that was the generation that I needed to be born into. The time of the Renaissance of philosophers. People dying left and right. But as long as I was made sure that I was one of those ones being heard and appreciated for the dumb shit that just never made sense in my time, maybe that was the time for me to live in. Right? Like an early 1700 printing press workshop. Just say some ridiculously philosopher like stuff. Make sure you print that out. Make sure you print that out. It doesn't make sense now, but I promise you it will age very well. I don't know, man. Are you sure, Mr. Mailman? Yep. Hey, they don't call me Mailman for nothing. All right? Make sure you get it in this paper. I need everyone to see this. I mean, it'll take a while. I hope it does. Make sure you date it for today. I want to make sure they only see it in 5 years. I'm telling you, it will age like wine. What if it ages like milk? It'll be a flop. It'll be the only flop in the reputation. But as long as people get it 5 years from now, it'll make perfect sense. It'll be perfect. Don't question it. Just print it. Okay. It's like that's how I ultimately have my vision of what philosophers were like before I do any studies on them, right? Before I started doing any studies on the philosophers and what they really did back in that period, I have this idea that would probably be the better time for me, right? But what they really did back then was like pottery, painting, clay, sculpting, chiseling. I can't chisel nothing. I couldn't tell. You might not be able to tell from my non-chiseled face. I'm very bad at it. I can't even make my face more lively. I can do a pretty good picture, not necessarily with paint. I like my colored pencils. I'm really good with the pencils, right? But I can do some eyeshadow. I can do some face makeup occasionally, so long as it works in the color range I'm used to. Okay, don't force me to do pastels. It's a 50-50 flop if you want me to, right? But I'm old. I'm old for my generation. I'm an old soul. I'm more mature than my generation tends to be, believe it or not. Right? And I didn't realize I was getting old until much later on. Right? It wasn't that moment when I was like, "Get off my yard." It wasn't the moment when most people would, like, they get in a relationship. My moment when I realized I was getting old was like dating people in my 30s. I realized I was getting old not when words like unk came around, because that came around even later than that. I didn't realize I was getting old when words and hip fads were going around that I couldn't get behind. I felt I was getting old when I was dating people and I just felt like I didn't have the energy to participate no more, right? I made sure to lay everything out, did none of the games and none of the questionings that I normally do to keep it exciting and mysterious. I just felt bored. Right? I knew I was getting old the moment dating seemed like a chore to me. It's like, nah, I got 5 things to ask you and make sure we talk about before I try to delete your number. All right? I need 4 yeses out of these 5 questions, and only one of them is an absolute yes or absolute and good night. Okay? I got 5 questions. 4 out of 5 need to be good, and only one of those 4 that need to be yes. The other 4 questions could be yay or nay, but I'm just lazy, right? When I started going on dates and realized I felt I could feel I was being a bit more direct. It wasn't like when I was younger and insecure about the outcomes. It wasn't like when I was in my 20s and had the energy and everything, as well as the what's the word? That's just dementia hitting me, folks. Give me a second. I'll figure out this word. That's another reason I started feeling old. Easy words were taking longer. It wasn't when I was in my early teens and stuff. It wasn't in my 20s. And it wasn't even my early 30s either. It wasn't in my 20s when I felt that I was being used and I was getting insecure by some of the rhetoric. It wasn't in my 30s, earlier 30s, where I started paying and getting cars and being able to afford a mortgage. It was after that when I started going on dates and everything. Because it wasn't even when I started having children. No. It wasn't when my children started getting old and needing help with their homework, and I felt like I was out of times because I've always been good with math. You ask me a geometry question, a trigonometry, a calculus, son, I got you. Right? You asked me to play football with you, I was never that guy. I'm a linebacker. I'm gonna tackle you down, son. Nothing else, right? Because I do not do the sports. I've never been athletic like that. I've been a capable worker. You need a pallet jack. You need me to fix that for you. I got you. You need me to teach you a trade, son. I got you. Or I got the money to afford it. It was when I was trying to date again, and I was just being lazy with the dates. It's like, nah. I need us to just be able to talk it out. We need to cover the basis in the first date. What religion you believe in, if you believe in one at all. Right? I need to know what your political view is, because nowadays, too many women, and unfortunately a lot of men as well, women and men of this generation, living in this generation, not of this generation. I'm not dating no Gen Alphas. Nah. Just the men and women in the dating scene in this generation. I need to know your political stance and if that's going to be an issue. All right? If your political stance is an issue, I just need you to walk away, because I'm a devil's advocate and I'm gonna argue with it no matter what, and that might not be the best working dynamic between us, right? When I was younger, I could have the time, attention, and the energy to have this argument with you, my spouse, every day. I realized when I was old, when I was like, nah, I'm not sure I'll be okay with arguing with you over politics every day. Every day. Unless you can guarantee we only do it once a week, right? And then about 5-10 years, once a month at most. Not to say I'm not ready to have an argument every day, but not with my wife. I gotta live and sleep next to you. I don't want to go to bed fighting about it and have us both in the shower trying to shower, work our way through a conversation for when we're out the shower and face to face again. Come on. That doesn't seem like an awesome way to wake up next to my partner no more. It used to be, not anymore. So I realized I was old. I realized I was old. And some aspects of it is great. And the other aspects of it is like, no, my lower back and my knees hurt. Like even now, in this position for this Funny Guy Friday, Funny Fat Guy Friday, let me say, FFF, Funny Fat Guy Friday, right? Even sitting down in this position, my knee bent over here is starting to ache a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, so I'm not too old. But point still stands. Golly, man. Time to be alive. I know I don't look as old as I actually am, and people, when they look at my driver's license, they address it all the time. Like, no, I honestly thought you were in your 20s. I wish. And at the same time, I don't. It's like, no, I take it as a compliment. And then other days, when I'm in a mood, I take it like, why you say that? You just look so baby-faced. I've been trying to grow this beard out for the past 37 years, man. I don't want to hear that I'm baby-faced. I don't cut this no more. Trying to grow it out like the Shaolin monks, the sect masters that got that Confucius beard. You could just yank it like a bell toll. Ding dong. I'm trying to grow my beard out like that. But all I get is patchiness. I've been trying for the longest time now, and it's just going nowhere. I grow more hair on the top of my head every 3-4 months than I'd ever do in my beard region, and it pisses me off. Because sometimes, back when I just started, anyway, my partner, I would roll over the bed, and I would just see a full-ass mustache on her face, and I'd be pissed off. But, yep, I'm going to go grab the Nair. Nair for Nair. Nair where? Nair why? Is there a issue? Yeah, you got hair on your lip. And it's pissing me off because I don't got no hair on mine. Next question. So that's another reason. I realized I was old when I had no issue with talking smack like my great grandparents. Because I would see my great grandparents, my grandparents, the way my granddad would talk to grandma sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, he's going to get the snot beat out of him. And nothing would happen. I started realizing I was old the moment I started noticing that I was doing it and I wasn't getting beat up. It's like, yes, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. So I would say things like that and I wouldn't get hit. That's the moment I realized I was old. No, I'm not young no more. I'm not getting the snot beat up out of me. I must be so old, even in my partner's mind over here, that if they hit me, I'll probably up and die and they'll have to pay their own things. No, that stinks. Cool. I don't got to worry about being beaten, abused no more. But I must be getting old. And I am getting old. I'm getting old, man. It's got its pros and its cons, but hey, man, it happens. Life's life. It's a circle of life, if you will. Like the Lion King did. They done said. I'm getting old. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Happens to the worst of us. The Grim Reaper don't care. I'm getting old, and it's fine. Ooh, man. Yeah. But it sure does take its toll. But hey, man, that's just me. You're Millenia, man. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, leave a like, comment down in the comment section down below. Share the video for more exposure. And by all means, subscribe if you feel like it. But hey, that's just, I'm getting old and I got no problems with it. Sometimes. Because other times I do be getting old and I notice a problem or two. But here and there and over there. Peace. Ugh.